Yo, guys, what's up, and welcome back to the Marvelous Chats podcast. This is episode 175. Tonight on the cast is myself, Finto, and Alex, aka Zerwolf. Tonight, we're going to be talking about the Marvel Zombies trailer that just launched yesterday. We're going to be talking about Peacemaker episode 2, season 2, and any other nerdy news in between. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button, leave us a comment below if you're watching a replay, and without further ado, here we go. Yo, what's up, man?
Hey man, how you doing?
I'm doing good, bro. How are you?
Not too bad, not too bad. Just been busy.
Yeah, same. I am like doing my own job and then trying to like lead the team as well while my manager's away for 3 weeks. And the like Monday, Tuesday were both very busy days for me. I was on a client site and I'm still getting like pinged emails and people are calling me and calling in sick and asking me to switch shifts and change locations for them and all. So like I'm doing like a whole kind of admin job on top of my own. It's pretty tough when people are like escalating stuff to me as well. Like and it's not easy, but it's good. I like the challenge, and I'm sure it's gonna help me get a promotion down the line. So more money will be on the way. So great, can't complain there. How about you?
Mhm. Just been doing a lot of work, trying to keep up with things. Trying to find some extra work as well because I'm only stuck on like kind of one project. And funny enough, like I was trying to work on one side of things while I had someone else on the team work on the other, and then they were also placed on to another application that they needed to work on, and that's cool and all. Um, but there was like really no communication between the two of us. I
Right.
did ask once in a while, like, "Hey, how's it going? Like, anything on updates for this item that I asked you to help me with?" And they're like, "Okay, well, yeah." They're like, "Yeah, well, I'll update on the progress." And it was like a week later and still nothing. So by the time I finished my work, um, they basically kicked him off of it because they're like, "Well, if you've just been doing the whole thing, you can just take care of the rest of it." And I'm like, "Oh, well, great. I was this whole time I've been working on this one thing. I was hoping that we'd both finish up on this and then move on to
Yeah.
the next thing." But
Yeah.
so now I got to kind of pick up the slack on that. But because of that, um, they're also giving me another application to work on. So like it's just like kind of a never ending story for me right now.
Yeah. I feel that, dude. I feel that. Are you doing any gaming, or have you seen any good movies or anything like that?
Oh, geez.
I haven't seen you live on Twitch in a bit. I think you were
No,
saying
it's
you've taken a break.
yeah, like I've been really like trying to do other things in the meantime, like, and I've been pretty like I've been feeling a bit unhealthy lately.
Hmm.
So I've been trying to kind of figure that out on my end, and I might need to come back when I'm like said and done and feeling much better. So
Yeah.
um
It's good to
hoping.
it's good to break sometimes. It's good to catch up on rest, and I'm no advocate for it, but it is important to sleep a lot. Like I know a lot of people that do the streaming thing and the gaming and a lot of gaming. I know they don't usually sleep a lot, and I'm always getting it in my ear, like, oh, you have to be sleeping your 7 hours at least a night and all. And you know, I don't really stream as much as I used to. I'm kind of stepping back a bit myself. Like I still stream probably 4 nights a week and then do this as well. So I'm still probably live 5 nights a week, but I used to stream 6 days and I would be streaming like a minimum of like 4 or 5 hours. You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
for me, like that got too much. And I'd be getting 5.5 hours, 6 hours sleep. And I was noticing like just the health going down. And my missus was saying to me like, oh, you're snoring a lot more now because you're not really sleeping properly and stuff like that. Like, so I'm trying to get some more sleep where I can, but also, you know, I still obviously love to stream. I love gaming and everything like that. So it's hard to kind of fit it all in. But yeah, I suppose we'll. I don't know. I think a break could be good for you, and then maybe just try and figure out a new schedule or something like that.
Mhm.
Is probably the best thing to do. I'm thinking of usually I stream Mondays, Tuesdays, here on Wednesdays, back on Twitch on Thursdays, back on Twitch on Friday. So I'm usually like I'm a Monday to Friday thing. Really, I'm kind of doing something, and then I take the weekends off. And I used to stream on Saturdays as well and just take Sundays off. But then we started doing the podcast on Sundays. Like it's been a mess for a long time. But now I'm thinking I might start taking Tuesdays off as well. So maybe I'll just like game on Monday, off on Tuesday, here Wednesday, game on Thursday, game on Friday, and then off the weekend. I'm thinking
Mhm.
that's probably that might be what I do going forward, but we'll have to see how it goes. Um, but yeah, look, I'm sure you'll figure it out, and I'm sure if you even just a break for a little while, I'm sure you'll start feeling a lot better. Um,
Definitely.
yeah, yeah. Are you still gaming even though you're not streaming, or are
Not
you just like are you fully gone, like you're fully just disconnected?
I mean, I'm kind of here and there right now.
Yeah,
I did finish a couple games like offline, just some small ones that I needed to finish up on before like new games come around, and
yeah,
probably gonna update the list on that. But like kind of leaving some of the bigger stuff for later. Just
yeah.
kind of working on myself. Maybe just like I'm also kind of branching out and doing some other things. Like I actually picked up bowling, so like I'm
Nice.
going out bowling. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
bowling's fun.
yep. After this podcast, I'm actually gonna go for another couple rounds. So
Fuck yeah. Like
yeah.
I find bowling like like I don't know if anyone's like really likes bowling, like I'm not trying to offend anyone, but I find bowling like I've maybe bowled like 10 times in my entire life, and I don't think like I think if you were to put in a lot of time it'd be quite easy to get good at it. If you had your own ball and it was like the perfect weight, perfect size, all this sort of stuff. Like I find the first like couple of pins that you throw down, you're just trying to find the right ball. And then when you find the right ball, it's a lot easier to start like getting some spares and strikes and stuff. And I
Mhm.
just think like, man, if I put like, that thing they say, like, put 10,000 hours into anything and you're a professional. I'm like, I think I could get really good at bowling in like 100 hours if I actually put 100 hours into it, you know? So I'm curious to see if you actually do start doing it quite a bit, how fast you progress and how good you get. I'd be very curious. So keep us
Mhm.
updated on that because I'd love to know.
Yeah, we'll
Um,
do.
yeah, shout out to anybody who's in the chat as well. Dan and Andre are here chatting away. Appreciate you just hanging out, guys. Anybody who's watching us on a replay as well, leave us a comment below. Let us know what you think of the content tonight. We're going to be talking about the zombies trailer. First of all, I think let's keep it Marvel since we are the marvelous chats. But and then we're going to talk about some Peacemaker and then see maybe where the conversation goes. But what did you think of the trailer for Zombies?
I mean, to be completely honest, man, I'm a little drained of zombie shit. But
That's
like
very fair. Yeah.
it's not it's like I don't hate the trailer. I think that they're going in a different direction with it compared to like what they did in the comics, which that's fine. I think they're trying to be a little more streamlined in terms of what they're doing for Marvel Zombies as well, which kind of bums me out. I really wish that they had decided to use I forgot what the disease was called. I think it was the hunger. I can't
I've not
remember like
I've never read a zombies comic, just disclaimer. So I mean going in like as if, it's brand new for me. And I think why they're probably doing it this way is because a lot of people are probably like me where it's like, they've watched The Walking Dead and all that sort of shit, but they've never seen like or watched anything to do with Marvel zombies, except for maybe
Mhm.
that one episode of What If. That's the only kind of thing I've seen of it. So yeah, I'm very new to it. I like the idea of it, but yeah, I don't know. Keep going. Sorry.
No worries. Yeah, like the in the comics, I can't remember the exact name of the virus itself, but I think it's like some of the where along the lines of the hunger,
Mhm.
or the hungerings. Basically, is it's a neurovirus that affects the brain, starts everything like the decomposition of the body, but it actually allows the characters to maintain some of their functions, so they're able to think, they're able to speak, they're able to
Right.
like basically like still act
That's
as
terrifying.
yeah, which I think is would have been way scarier. Like it would have been a
Yeah.
lot cooler in that sense,
Yeah.
where like they're communicating with people who are basically like undead,
Mhm.
um, and looking to feast,
Yeah,
um,
that's terrifying.
and and so like plenty of different characters get afflicted by it. I think Spider-Man gets afflicted, Hulk eventually gets afflicted. I think Wolverine does. Can't remember if Doom gets afflicted, but there's tons of different characters that get hit. Galactus gets hit at one point. Um,
Jesus Christ.
yeah, it's fucked up.
Yeah, that's so cool.
But it seems like in this trailer they're going with like at least a bunch of characters that we already know. I think what we've seen so far is what looks to be a Blade character, which I think
Blade
is kind of
Blade with Moon Knight. It's like he's got like he's the Khonshu whatever
Mhm.
the what do they call it? The like you're
The
the man
oh,
like
like
the man like the serve like you serve Khonshu or whatever.
oh yeah, the Fist of Khonshu.
Yeah, so he's like
Yeah.
the Khonshu fist or whatever. That I thought that was really cool. And just like that scene where he's like chopping up Ghost as well. I was like, holy shit. So like I was streaming last night on Twitch and Mex came into the chat and was like, have you seen the trailer? I didn't even know it was out. So I was like, let's watch it right now. So I was live, completely blind reaction to it. And I threw it up on this channel, like the reactions up on this channel if anyone wants to watch it. But I am just giddy, man. Like I haven't felt that giddy about something in a long time. And even just like stuff like the scene where you see like Captain America pop up and he starts like he does that scream, like that war cry and all. That sent shivers through me, man. I was like, holy shit, like this is like it looks fucking great. And it looks scary as well. Like, like and I'm very surprised that Disney are doing this.
Mhm.
I know they're trying to dip into the mature content to the TVMA and all, like, and that's great. And we also heard last week that they are looking to they're trying very hard. Like they've outright said this, they're trying very hard to get the young male audience back. And like after finishing watching that trailer, I just kind of went like, this feels like one for the boys. It's just gore, blood, fucking fight scenes, zombies everywhere. I'm like, this is one for us, I think, and perfect time to release it after a statement like that as well. Like, so I don't know. I'm very hopeful. We've been burned in the past at the same time. We know like some trailers can get released and the trailers are fucking epic and then the movie comes out or the TV show comes out and it's fucking shit. So, there is that possibility as well. But I really feel like I don't know, I haven't looked into it too much. I don't know how many episodes there's going to be, but if the best parts of the show are in that trailer, I still think it's going to be enjoyable, because like that trailer it's it's the closest thing to a 10 out of 10 I've seen in a long time. Like I finished watching that trailer and I was gobsmacked. I couldn't believe it. The music was incredible, the pacing of it, everything, like just the editing, fantastic, and just the action, getting to see like Spider-Man tearing all those heads off with his webs and everything. Like it was just nonstop. It was just boom, boom, boom. Like it was crazy, absolutely crazy. So yeah, I'm very excited, and it's airing as well on the 24th. So it's going to be out in 3 weeks' time. Like so, absolute win, because we'll still be watching Peacemaker. We're gonna have this, and Alien Earth might still be on as well. Like so, like we're eating good. Like September's good, and then October we're gonna have like some new movies and games coming out towards the end of the year as well. So the rest of this year and starting next year as well, it's gonna be content machine. It's gonna be great. Yeah.
I mean, I hope you're right with the Marvel Zombies thing. I'm always skeptical about that kind of stuff because
Same.
they can easily fuck it up. Like you just mentioned it
Oh yeah.
a moment ago. Like they
Yeah.
and I wish I could be as excited about the trailer as you were. I wasn't too like giddy about the music. I thought it was a little cheesy.
I thought it
I
was
think they
great.
were
I was just
I,
listening to the drums and everything, and just it was matching up with the kills and all. It was edited beautifully. Like it was a
mm,
very well made trailer. Fair enough if like the content itself felt a bit cheesy or whatever, but just literally the way it was put together. I don't know. Like it really ticked all the boxes for me. Before I saw that trailer, I was like, oh, this is like another Eyes of Wakanda slash fucking What If. Like, I'll watch it to talk about it here and nothing else. Like, I was not even remotely excited for it at all. But it really seems like they launched that trailer yesterday and they kind of broke the internet a bit. Like, a lot of people were like, holy shit, this looks crazy. This looks really good. So I hope it is good. Again, but time will tell. But
I mean, they essentially World War Z'd it.
yeah,
So like, I mean, could be good. That's kind of like where my standpoint is.
yeah.
I think it was, it was smart for them to showcase a few moments in the show where like people die or people get eaten or heads come off or any of that kind of stuff. I think that's a good idea. Too much of it though, in my opinion, because what if that's all that we kind of get for the time being, like in those episodes.
Mm,
um I think I would have really I think it could have really benefited with a little bit of like introspective on like what the hell are they planning to do. Like, is it just survival? Are they just trying to survive, or are they actually trying to find a cure for this? Are they actually what is going to be the ultimate, like the ultimate end to this? Because at some point it's got to end.
Yeah.
Um, and if it's like a no hope situation, that's kind of cool. Hopefully, like if that's the case, then of course, then the trailer showcase that well, because they're not necessarily trying to collaborate and figure out what to do. They're just kind of like going against the grain on this, and saying like we got to take down these zombies, which that's a cool idea. I think that the humor is still going to be present. That is kind of like the cringe humor, because we saw it in the
Always.
trailer too.
Always.
And I like I'm just kind of like, again, I'm over that kind of stuff. If you see, things that, like, we're going to talk about Peacemaker in a minute, but
Mm.
if you were to compare that, like the humor that we see in Marvel as compared to like Peacemaker, it's night and day. And the humor in Peacemaker is like 10 times better. It's amazing. It's got this like good feel to it. It feels real.
Mm.
And that's kind of the main deal about the humor that I see with like Marvel and whatnot. Like
Yeah.
it's just, it doesn't feel organic. It doesn't feel comfortable. It very much kind of makes you feel like, um, they're trying to yank your chain every time something funny happens. And then they
Yeah.
tell you about the funny thing, which I think is like really odd. Like, I don't understand the
Yeah.
humor behind that.
We hope you didn't miss this joke, so here it is again. Or like, yeah, haha, that was funny. Like, hope you're laughing, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like the Marvel humor used to be a real selling point for me. I used to love it. Like I used to love sitting in the theater and, laughing my ass off, like watching these movies that were still epic as well. Like I'm talking like phase three, phase two, phase one, that sort of thing. But yeah, it does feel like it's been a bit overused, and it feels like they're just using the same kind of formula over and over again. Like, and I know you really dislike the likes of Red Guardian and stuff. Like he's getting old for you fast, and that was before Thunderbolts, and now it's like we have Thunderbolts, and now he's back again. And like I was reading some comments on Twitter, and people are like, Jesus, they're really trying to stuff Yelena down our throats. Like I don't mind that, but and I didn't really think about it that much. But then when I read that comment, I was like, oh yeah, I suppose they kind of are. It's like Florence Pugh again. Like, and again, I don't mind it, but yeah, they have a point. And
Right.
I read another comment that kind of said something along the lines of like, and again, I haven't read the comics, so I don't know the other side of this, but obviously this person had read the comics who wrote this, but they were saying like, they've really like 616 the zombie storyline. Where like they could have really done like a DC kind of Elseworld style where it was just completely different, but they seem to be doing, hey guys, it's just a slightly different shade of the 616. And I suppose maybe they need to do that just for the people who aren't comic book readers, for the people who aren't the sweaties, who don't really, you know, who need that kind of familiarity to, know, okay, here's Blade, and oh yeah, I remember Moon Knight, and that sort of stuff, and here's the Scarlet Witch again, and it's Elizabeth Olsen, and I could kind of understand that. There's a lot of young people. Well, I suppose young people shouldn't be watching this, but there's a lot of people who, the girlfriends of guys who like this sort of stuff, who are the sweaty guys, and they got to make it understandable for the person sitting beside the nerd who's watching it, I suppose. Like I think of
Mhm.
my girlfriend a lot of the time, like where it's like, she doesn't read comic books, and yeah, she's seen every movie in the MCU, but at the same time, like she won't understand like comic references or anything like that, and she might not know who a character is at all until I explain it to her. But I think they need to kind of make content that is easily digested by people like that, and there's a lot of them. So I suppose that's why they got to cater to that, I suppose.
Mm, gotcha.
Yeah, but like, I saw another great comment again. I'm feeding back what I've read about other people saying. I'm not really, but I think a lot of it is very valid. But some people were kind of saying like, look, the box office is down. The normies have kind of, left us behind, left the MCU behind. Like, why don't they just start really going sweaty mode? Like it's only us left. We're the people that are still going. We're the people still buying tickets. Like, why don't they just like go full blown nerd and just give us what we want? Like, and that's, to me, like, I'm like, yeah, like fuck it, And I kind of feel like that's maybe what James Gunn is trying to do a little bit. Like he's like day one DCU, he's going sweaty with like Guy Garner and all this stuff and Mr. Terrific and all this, like, and it's like you need to read the comics to kind of know who these guys are, because otherwise you're kind of just lost. And I kind of respect that in a way where it's just like, yeah, let's just make movies for the people who love these things, and if other people come along and they like it, great.
Right. I think it all boils down to money, to be honest. I mean, like, I think we've talked about this plenty of times where um, it seems that they are not really in favor of using or utilizing actual superpowered beings, because it takes a lot of resources just to get them, like, to take flight, to use any sort of, like, heat vision, frost breath, super speed and whatnot. Like, all that costs a ton of money,
Oh yeah,
because you have to integrate the CG into the effects and, like, actually make it look good.
yeah,
Um, and I think they're just afraid of outputting so much money and not getting it all back,
yeah.
which, I mean, that's fair.
That's
Co-
Hollywood, baby.
yeah, the
Like
cost of
me,
filming just
yeah,
goes up, like, it continues to go up, and I get that they need to make their money. And a lot of people don't understand that, oh, why, like, they should have billions upon billions of dollars. It's like, yeah, but you have to remember they're running, like, tons of servers to showcase all their Disney Plus stuff, which requires, like, a subscription, which not
mhm,
everyone is running an individual subscription. They're usually doing, like, a family plan or some sort of thing, like, basically where they can share it. So, like, they're not getting as much revenue from their streaming services as they would, like, with their movies. And the movies aren't really doing that great because, I think people are just kind of not really going just for the sake, like, there's new movies that come out that seem to be kind of interesting, and it doesn't seem like a lot of people really go. They might go at the beginning, but then, like, it just starts dropping drastically over time.
yeah,
um and for, something like the Fantastic Four, which was actually a good movie, like,
mhm.
it still got hit hard with nothing. It still didn't really make as much as it should have. And
It struggled
um
to pass 500 mil. I think
yeah,
I only checked it today. I think it finished on 507, which is like pretty shocking, honestly. Like it lost money 100%. Like they went hard on the marketing for that movie.
yeah,
Hard. I'd say they probably doubled the budget like with the marketing for that film. And yeah, they I think the movie was 200 to make, maybe 250. Like they probably needed about, I'd say, 800 to break even on that film, and they didn't make it at all. Like officially, they came out and said that Thunderbolts lost like 91 million, and like the scary thing is, like, and again, I talk about this stuff all the time. It fascinates me. I love all the numbers, but and that's not. It's not just Marvel. It's not just DC that are losing money. Like Hollywood in general is losing money. Like the F1 movie, I go on about this. Like that should have been $1 billion movie easily. It was an absolute cinematic experience, great story. Like, the movie's like sitting on like a 7.9. It's got Brad Pitt in it. It's like the director of fucking Maverick, which was like a massive movie a couple of years ago. Like the movie should have crossed a billion in a heartbeat, and it barely made 700, I think. I think it crossed 600 maybe. But, you know, it's just mad. It's just mad. Like Hollywood's not making money. Like, a lot of people are like, fuck it, I'll wait for streaming. The cinema's too expensive. And they're 100% right. I'm going to the cinema on Saturday to see the last Conjuring movie. And again, like we all know this, like I'm a big cinema buff. Like I love to go to the cinema. I'll go to the cinema for as long as they stay open. Like, it's a fantastic day out for me. I love going. I love just sitting there, the whole experience, getting the food, everything, like going on the date night. Like me and her, we both love it. Like, and I'll go for as long as I can, and I'm counting down the days that I get to take my daughter to see her first film on the big screen. Like, like it's a rite of passage in my opinion, and it's just it's become so expensive for a lot of people that I understand. I understand fully why some people are like, I'm not spending 30 euro. I'll speak in euros for now. I'm not going to spend 30 euro on like seats, and then on the night another 30 euro on food, and then you gotta, like, pay to get there, and maybe you get some dinner after or whatever. Like it turns into a full-blown date night, like a proper date night. You could go out to a nice restaurant and have a couple of drinks as well, or you could go and watch a film. Like, that's where it's gone, and it's crazy. Like again, I see a lot of people like arguing on Twitter about, like, well, what was better, Superman or Man of Steel? And like, Superman sold this many tickets, and Man of Steel sold this many, and back when Man of Steel came out, tickets were only like $8, and now they're like $25, and they still can't beat it in the box office. And it's crazy to think, like, you could have got, for the price that I pay for an IMAX seat now. back in like 2013, you could have bought 3 seats for that price. Like it's insane. Like it is insane, and I fully understand why some people will look at it and go, there's 5 blockbuster movies out in a 6-week span. Like I'll maybe go see one and then wait digitally for the rest of them to come out. I understand that. That's like that's fully understandable. And then if you're paying for Prime, you're paying for Disney Plus, you're paying for Netflix, you're paying for Apple TV. I pay for them all. Like I pay for Paramount, everything. Like I'm probably spending easily $100 a month on just subscriptions to these services, and then probably dropping at least another €100 a month just going to see movies on the big screen as well. Like, so, and that's me going 50-50 with her. Like, I usually buy the tickets, she buys the food on the night. Like, so it's like, it's expensive, man. So I fully understand why they say there's like since COVID as well, like they say maybe they've gotten back like 68% of the audience is what they say. That's the number that they say has come back after COVID. But then, I don't think COVID has anything to do with it. I think that was just, at the start, people were kind of a bit weary of getting into a theater again and, sitting around people and stuff like that. But they think COVID plus the streaming kind of apocalypse is really what's killing it, like, and I fully understand. And, Marvel, or I'm saying Marvel, like Marvel obviously need to do something, but Hollywood as a whole need to do something to change. Like I don't know what they do to change it. They got to bring budgets down. They got to bring the price of the theaters down. Yeah, it's wild, and like the global box office, I believe the studios only get 1/3 of anything that's outside of the US and Canada. So, you know what I mean? Like if you hear that the movie does 300 million, they're only getting 100 million of that 300 million. Like, so they need to work really hard, and, they're not getting, obviously, a lot of these American companies are, they can't release movies in China anymore and stuff like that. And that's like such a massive market to them as well. So, yeah, it's really, they're really struggling. Like, like you see movies like Deadpool and Wolverine. I think that came out, that did 1.3 billion, and that was without China. I think it would have probably crossed 2 billion if they had China as well. Like, so it's insane. It's insane, man. I don't know what they do to fix it, but they need to do something.
Gotcha.
They need to do something. Let's talk about some Peacemaker, because we're nearly 30 minutes live already. Jesus, I can't even believe it. Time's just disappeared on me here. Peacemaker, there's a new episode airing in probably another 2 hours or something. We record these live. It's late for me on a Wednesday night. So yeah, I think the new episode drops in like an hour or two or something. So I'll watch it tomorrow. But what did you think of episode 2? I know we're late to talk about it, but this is the way it is.
I think episode 2 worked out pretty well. I do like the perspective from Chris, and how like he's just struggling to deal with everything that's going on. The fact that he killed a version of himself, and the fact that he needs to like get rid of the body as well. And I think it's cool that God, I forgot the other character's name. The other hero that comes in and helps him out.
Adrian Chase, or
Adrian
Vigilante
Chase. Yeah,
Vigilante is his name. Yeah, he's cool. He's a really cool character in the comics and stuff. And there's like different iterations of him as well. Like they did him on Arrow, and he was a completely different character. This version of him, he's kind of like a kind of Deadpool, kind of a goofy guy, and he's just he's a bit of an idiot, but he's funny, and like I really like this adaptation of him. I think he's great as well.
Well, and he's you could tell that he's kind of, I guess the term jaded, or like he's not really phased by anything. Everything that's going on currently, even the fact that they had to cut up a body.
Oh yeah, he's just like, hey bro, where do you? Yeah, he's like the bone saw out, and he's like, where do you need me? Like, what's going on?
So crazy, man. And I like that, because it's like, obviously Peacemaker is having such a hard time with it, but like, everybody else is just kind of doing their own thing. And you see, oh my goodness, I always forget the guy's name, like the guy in the van. I forget his name, like with the big beard and whatnot.
I know who you're talking about. Yeah, I can't think of his name either.
It's hard to remember because they use like his full name.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it's cool that he's trying his best to kind of hide the fact that shit's going on with Peacemaker, and that like things are not as they seem. And you have like Amanda, like you have the Waller family just kind of having a spat right now, and The fact that Rick Flag Senior is now on board and taking over for the whole like observation duties, and
Yeah, he's the director of Argus now, or
yeah,
step-in director or whatever. He might not stay that way, but he's a great character too. Obviously, I love him as Frank Grillo, great actor. Um, like he's in his 60s, man, and he's still shredded and like he looks great and he's real physically boxes and everything like that. Like he's a really cool guy, and
mhm.
he has a great show, like an MMA show that was on a couple of years ago called Kingdom. And if you can get that anywhere, if you can stream it anywhere, it's worth a watch if you haven't watched it. But he's like the main character, and he has two sons, and they're both MMA fighters, and he's like a retired MMA legend, and they start up their own like kind of fighting organization and stuff like that. And he's got his own gym and everything. If you're into MMA, it's a really cool show. Um, I think it went for 3 seasons, but I was addicted to it when I first saw it. Fantastic, really really good.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, like look, I'm liking the show. I think it's a little slow. Not in a bad, well, I suppose not in a bad way. Like there's stuff happening, and I think it's slowly building, and I'm interested to see where it goes. But if I'm thinking back and trying to compare it to season one, I remember season one was just a lot more kind of manic. There was a lot more happening, and the episodes were just a little more kind of action packed and stuff. Whereas like this episode, like if you really break down this episode, obviously we have the scenes of the surveillance. We have like him chopping up the body and trying to hide the body and stuff. And then we have them just kind of drinking on a rooftop and having a bit of fun. And the whole kind of breaking into the house and Eagly just going mad. Like that was literally the whole episode. And, you know, while that's probably fine, and if I go back and rewatch the season, it'll probably flow a lot better. But it just, for a week to week release, it just feels a little slow to me, you know? I just kind of
Oh,
wish it was there was a little more going on. Like, because again, it's like you watch it and it's like 40 minutes, and then you're like, fuck, I have to wait another week to see what happens next. And like,
well the first
like, go on.
well the first season had the same situation. It's just it's the roller coaster of entertainment, man. You gotta have like
Yeah.
you have that high from the end of season one, and so you're on this high, and so now you're coming down, and the ride's over essentially, and you have to get on a new ride, and so that's what we're kind of building up towards. So when you see the first episode, in the fact that like the new ride is here, it's another universe where everything is going great for Peacemaker,
Mhm.
um, and so now like the build up and then the drop again because he just killed like a part of himself. um and so now we're at the bottom part of this next ride, and so now we're building back up. We get to Eagly, there's your thing, it's going to come back down. But it kind of like is starting to bring us back up again on a cliffhanger, because when you saw he went back into the other universe, which I figured he would do, because like why the hell not, it's a better
Yeah.
version of the things that he's already experienced, like that he hasn't
Exactly.
experienced.
Yeah.
um and so by going back, like he's basically saying like, I want to experience the life that I should have had, essentially, which I think is great, because most heroes, anti-heroes, villains, like I'm pretty sure they would love to experience what it would be like to be on the positive end of things rather than always the negative. And so like that's why, you get a lot of these comics of, One More Day with Spider-Man. You have like anything that has to do with like Mephisto, or like I can't remember the name of the character in DC, but it's like Mr. Sisypic or something like that. It's like a kind of like a leprechaun looking kind of dude. He also has like pretty strong powers for stuff like that as well. And it's kind of cool, like to kind of see like all these different like what ifs in the sense.
Mhm.
And the fact that like Peacemaker just has it like in his house, it's kind of crazy.
It is
Um,
crazy.
but I also like that he's been around that area long enough to where there's an alien that just pops up out of nowhere. He
Yeah, and he's
yelled
like,
at him.
fuck off.
Guy
Yeah,
never
so
says fucking hi.
yeah, he's such a rude bastard. Like I think I know you spoke a little bit about it earlier. Like the comedy in the show like it's my type of comedy. I really enjoy it, and I really feel that everyone making this show are all kind of friends, and like they're just kind of shooting the shit and having fun. And I really feel like I think James wrote the first two episodes, and you can really feel the kind of friendship and camaraderie in it or something, if that makes
Mhm.
sense. Um, and I'm curious to see now if we go into the next couple of episodes, because I think with the first season, I'm pretty sure James wrote the first two and then maybe the finale or something. I wonder, will it be the same? I haven't really looked into it to see, who's directing and who's writing. I always kind of just read it on the episode when I'm watching. I'm not really digging in too deep into the making of it, but it'll be interesting to see now. Will it be the same sort of story with this season? But yeah, I don't know. And like again, I'm enjoying it. I'm obviously going to keep watching it, and there are times where I'm laughing in the episodes and stuff. It just feels a little light or something, like it's missing something. And I know with the first season, I definitely enjoyed the first season a lot more. Um, Even just with like the first two episodes, I really felt like there was a lot more going on. Now, this season could just kick into overdrive in the next two episodes, like we don't know yet. And I'm sure, in a binge, it's probably all fantastic, but I just feel like the pacing of it is a little kind of slow right now. I'm sure it's gonna ramp up for sure. Yeah,
Gotcha.
I'd be very confident in that. But yeah, I'm loving it. I'm like, Seen as such a great actor. It's and like even like some of the support cast, like I like the new guy who's doing the surveillance. Like he's real funny as well. And he's like making up the nicknames for everyone, and like, and everyone's just like, "Fuck you, man! Like you can't be calling us that and all." He's just like doesn't give a shit about anything. It's so funny. He's hilarious. Like pretty much every line coming out of him is funny. Like, and the whole shit about
Mhm.
him, like having that like thing where you can't tell different birds apart and stuff. Like it's just so stupid. Like I'm watching it. And I'm like, what am I listening to right now? But they just make it work. It's so stupid, but they make it work. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that as well. Like I think that just it is a coincidence, but it's a coincidence that I'm actually in favor of because they utilize it and it's not like in a dumb way. Like his interaction is technically dumb, but that's dumb for the sake of it being funny.
Yeah.
But like it matters because it's like he can't tell what the fuck he's looking at when he's looking at Eagly.
Yeah.
Which I think is fantastic. And then like he managed to survive, which of course he has to because like they just brought him in. They're not going to just
Yeah. They're not going to kill him in one.
like
And he's a pretty big actor as well, isn't he? Like, I know his face from a lot of stuff. So he's not just
oh
a
yeah.
random character that's going to come in for 20 minutes and be killed off. Like, I feel like he's going to be a part of the season. So, yeah, like, he's there for a bit.
He's one of my favorite actors because like he's kind of everywhere and he has really good humor. Like he's a great comedian. And I remember like one of my favorite acting moments from him was like I think it was in Curb Your Enthusiasm. So there was like this moment where he's in the bathroom and Larry's like kind of cleaning, like, washing his hands. And then he's trying to like, he has an itch on his finger. So he starts like doing this. And the guy has a girlfriend who is deaf and only understands sign
Oh,
language. And
God.
he goes, "The fuck do you say to me?" It's like, "Fuck you, Larry." And walks out. And Larry goes in and he's like, "I don't know what happened." He's like, "He just said fuck you and stormed off." And it's like, "Well, what did you do?" And he's like, "I don't know. I was just like, I had an itch, so I did this." And then Susie like responds, "Is like, Larry, this means cocksucker." Like,
That's brilliant, man. It's great.
it's so good.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, I don't really. I'm trying to think. I don't really have much else to say about Peacemaker, really, to be honest. Um, I have like, do you like when you're watching it? Do you get like a next time on Peacemaker or anything? Like, do you see like a trailer for the next episode or anything?
No, I prefer not to. Like
Yeah,
I prefer to just kind of keep it ambiguous. It always feels good in my opinion to have a cliffhanger. A lot of
yeah,
shows do a next time, and I just skip that for the most part. Like One Piece does it all the time, and I just
mhm,
skip it because I already know. Like I'm gonna enjoy the next episode. I don't need to see what else is gonna happen
yeah,
next time.
of
But
course.
like and also like it's a really good breath of fresh air when you don't have that because then you're like speculating, you're wondering, and then so it creates that interest and that wonder, and then is you essentially want to watch the next episode, right? So
Yeah,
like why would I want to waste my time watching what is supposedly going to happen next when I'm totally going to see that in the next episode?
yeah. Like, I don't know. Like, there's some shows. I'm weird with this stuff. There's some shows where I'm like, I need to see like even just a frame from the next episode, and then there's sometimes where I'm like, I just don't want to see anything. Like, I just want it to be a complete surprise. So I don't know. It just depends on the show, the type of show for me sometimes. So, but with this one, like I don't need to see anything. Let's just go in blind and hope it's good. Like I'm watching the new Dexter show at the moment, and there's one episode left, which I think airs on Friday, and then it's finished. The season has been fucking fantastic. Like cannot recommend it enough. But they do this weird thing at the start of every episode. So like they'll do like the intro, and then they'll do like the splash of like the logo and stuff, and like there's no intro. Like they don't have like a kind of like the old, the old Dexter show that had him like making the breakfast and stuff. They don't do that
Mhm.
anymore. They just literally bring up a logo that says like Dexter, and then Resurrection gets stamped into it. But then straight after that, they do this weird thing for like 10 seconds where they show like a fast paced like clip, like 2 second clip of like maybe 5 or 6 parts of the episode you're about to watch. And the first time I saw it, I was like, "What the fuck was that?" And because I was like seeing stuff that I hadn't seen before, and I was like, "That's stuff that hasn't happened yet." I was like, "What the hell is that?" And then the next episode they did it again, and I was like, "Oh my god, what the fuck?" So episode 3, I knew it was coming, and I'm like looking down, and I was like to my missus, I was like, "Please just tell me when this is over," because I was like, I don't want to see what comes up, because like they were showing like in one of the episodes they showed him killing somebody of importance, and I was like, "This is fucking bullshit! Like, what are they doing?" So I really don't understand the mindset of like putting that in a show. Like it's weird to me, like I understand like, next time on and then you can just skip it or whatever. But this is like right in your face, and it's like it's part of the episode. You can't really like they don't give you the option to skip it, or it's not at the end where you can switch it off. It's just right in
Yeah.
your face, and you're like, oh my god, what the fuck? Like it's real kind of just yeah. It was a shock to me when I saw it. I was like, what the fuck? So yeah, I don't like that at all. Don't like that at all.
Yeah, I prefer it like right at the end of it, because then even like if you're watching like on an application like, Prime Video or Crunchyroll or something, well not Crunchyroll, but Prime Video has like an auto next.
Yeah,
And so they usually cut that part off
yeah.
before it happens
And
because
they
you're
cut off
the
the
next.
previously on as well, don't they? Like if you're
Oh,
watching in a binge, they does on my app anyway. They'll cut off the previously on and they just flow right in for you. So it just continues on, which I think is great. But then if you were to like randomly like start on episode 6, they would show you the previously on, which I think is very clever.
well, and I don't know if it's because it's an older show, but Supernatural doesn't get rid of the previously on. I mean, I think you can manually skip it, but it'll
Yeah,
like fully play the whole thing. It'll say,
yeah,
then and then now. So it'll show you
yeah, yeah.
then this was happening and now we're at the current setting.
Yeah. I kind of understand in a show like Supernatural where there's 15 seasons and they do go back sometimes. Like you'll see like, previously on, and then it's like something from season 2 or something. And then I kind of understand in that case where it's like, we need to probably remind some people because that was like 200 episodes ago. So
Yeah,
that's fair. That's fair enough. But yeah,
it
like
was like
yeah,
it was like then our dad John,
yeah,
his
exactly.
dad left and he said nothing and just kind of he felt abandoned. Now it turns out that John's father Henry like actually time traveled and
Yeah,
now he's in the present and now Abaddon's chasing after that. And so I'm like okay, well I'm glad that I watched the beforehand because like this makes more sense as to like what they're trying to go after. And
yeah,
it's kind of interesting how like this is all kind of folding into a new setting for the characters because it's like
yeah,
we just thought that they were hunters, but originally they were supposed to become the letters, and so the
yeah,
letters are supposed to be like the bookworms, and the hunters are the. It's kind of like if we were playing Phasmophobia and we just identified the ghost, and then we go get the Ghostbusters.
exactly. Yeah,
Like
the hunters are the muscle, and
yeah,
yeah. No, it's cool. Yeah, like if you didn't get the previously on, you'd be like, "Who the fuck is this Henry guy?"
yeah.
You'd be so lost. You'd be like, "What?" Yeah, no, that's cool. Is that where you are on the show now?
Yeah. They just captured Abaddon and
Mhm.
like put her down. They said they were going to bury her, make her wish that she was never like that wish she was dead. And
Yeah,
then they finally got to the sanctum, I guess. I don't know what it's called per se, but like it's like a sanctum for the letters, and it's just in pristine condition, which makes me think like, oh, is someone keeping the place clean, or is it just magic that they're using to keep the place clean? And then the
it's
most recent
a
episode,
sealed bunker. They call it the bunker,
yeah,
and yeah, it's all sealed. Like it's sealed against everything. Like they can't let anything in. It's like so angels can't get in. I think they do shit to get Cass in, and I think Crowley like will work his way around it or whatever. But I think it's meant to be magically sealed, so I suppose that maybe explains why, because it's from the 50s, like, so you're kind of like, should this place not be covered in cobwebs and stuff? But I don't think about stuff like that when I'm watching. I'm just like,
Well,
yeah,
like if it's just because it's like when it starts and you find out about the letters and you kind of get this little ambiguity of it, like you see that, oh, okay, so like they know a bunch of shit that the hunters don't because they don't want to divulge and everything for the hunters. They only need them to have as much information as they need, and only the most trustworthy or top level hunters get to know like who the letters are and what they do.
yeah,
Which so then when they go into the bunker and they see that there's like everything's pristine, it does give off this kind of feeling like maybe something was taking care of it, or like they used magic or like some sort of like seance to kind of keep it clean in the sense, or maybe people were like come through. I don't know yet. I'm excited to see like what happens. Although I know like when they find a new base of operations, eventually it's going to get trashed, especially for it being so pristine. It's going to get fucking ransacked, which kind of sucks because like
it's cool.
but it's this whole situation of like, oh, that's going to suck when the demons or angels find out about all of these different like texts and things that are going on underground that like technically would be kept a secret, but like it's just now it's open and Crowley's going to get it. And I know Crowley's going to get it because Crowley's a fucking asshole, but he's like
He's the
being the
best.
king of hell.
I love him.
He's the king. He's great. He's
I love
great.
him.
But he's like, he's, I just love how fucked up he is. Like he's just so hellbent, literally like
Yeah,
on getting every bit of information possible so that he gets ahead of everything.
yeah. Oh man,
And
there's so much to come, like that I'd love to just talk about now, but obviously I'm not gonna. But yeah, like this, I'm curious to see how you feel about where it goes, because
so,
everything expands a lot. Like like the world gets a lot bigger. Is all I'll
which
say.
is great. Yeah. Cause it like for 15 seasons, it has to,
Of
it
course,
can't
yeah,
just be hunters, hunters, hunters. It's got to be like, as you see, like in the seasons coming through, like it's, hunters hunting monsters, and then from monsters to demons to demons to angels to like, things in the like to random monsters in purgatory. And so like now you're in
yeah,
the middle, and now you're like, you're
yeah,
dealing with Leviathan because Leviathan came back and like all that kind of jazz, like from season 7, and now we're in season 8, and just kind of like going through this whole new notion that like, oh yeah, you guys were supposed to be completely different. You guys weren't supposed to be the killers. You're supposed to be just the people who know about the killers.
hmm yeah.
And
There's a
it
great
like
clip. There's a great clip of Dean where he's talking, and I think it's like episode 4 or something. It's where they see their first demon, and like Dean turns to Sam, and he's just like, "Demons, bro." He's like, "Oh, I don't know, man. This is a bit above our pay grade." It's like the next thing of him is like Dean's it, but like between an angel and like the king of hell. I think it's sorry. It was I don't know if it was an angel and like I think it was Crowley and on his right, and like either Cass or Lucifer or something on his left. And it's like literally like they were rubbing shoulders with like the king of hell and like Lucifer himself and all this stuff, and obviously angels and everything. Like it just gets so crazy as it goes on. And yeah, there's like so much even more for you to see. Like it's wild. I love the show so much. Love it so
oh
much.
yeah, I really like the whole, like I really like the whole Lucifer thing where Sam was just tormented by Lucifer, not knowing whether or not he's actually just a figment of his imagination for the time being. And then eventually like Cass takes it out of him,
Yeah,
and then has to basically sit with Lucifer himself, takes all like the craziness and then sits in the asylum for the time being.
yeah.
And that was a cool moment. I think one of the big memes is like, he said like what he told me to shut up or like something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
Or
It's when
like,
he
come,
finally cracks and lets him in. It's like he said shut up to me.
yeah,
But
he
yeah, he
said shut up.
acknowledges him. Yeah, yeah.
He's
That's
like,
cool.
come on, talk to me.
The dude who plays Lucifer, he's such a fucking phenomenal actor. And
He was in
even
Dexter.
yeah, he's Paul, Rita's first husband. He's
Mhm.
he's a great fucking actor. And even as you go on, like I'm rewatching season 12 at the moment, and like, look, it gets a bit shaky around then. It's not as good as the first 6 seasons are, in my opinion, are just like god tier, and then it does start to slip a bit. But like my missus is I'm rewatching it by myself just because I need something to do when I'm on site and during my lunch breaks and stuff. So I'm kind of watching it myself, and she's rewatching it herself, and we're in completely different places. She's on like season 10, I'm on season 12. But like I might sit down and watch an episode of season 10 with her, and then I'll fly back to season 12. But yeah, like even in season 12, like where it's a little shaky story wise and everything like that, like he still comes in and is just incredible as Lucifer. Like he's just so good. And like any episode that you see his name popping up at the bottom, you're just like, fuck yeah, this is gonna be a good episode. Because he carries the show. Like it's incredible. He's so
Mhm.
good. Yeah, yeah, he really is. Yeah, it gets crazy, man. It really does. It gets crazy. Like again, I don't even want to say like I could just say a few words to you and you'd be like, what? So I don't even want to go there, you know what I mean? But it's cool. Yeah, definitely keep us up to date as you're progressing with it. I'd be curious to see what you think. Um Dan in the chat was talking about Alien Earth and saying it's so good so far. I literally just watched the latest episode of Alien Earth before we went live, which is episode 5. And yeah, it was cool. Like episode 5 basically goes back in time to like 2 weeks before the first episode, and we kind of see basically there's the ship that's been out in space for like 65 years gathering all of these specimens to bring back to the Earth for testing. Um, Such a terrible fucking idea, by the way. Let's bring all these aliens to the Earth. Like, who thought that was a good idea? But anyway, but basically we see how the ship gets basically overrun by aliens. Like you kind of watch it all occur, and it's pretty cool. Like episode 1 happens, and we kind of see the end of the disaster just as it hits Earth. But then we get to go back and kind of see what the last 2 weeks on the ship were like before they crash landed, and
Mhm.
it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. Um, I haven't watched an alien movie like since I was a kid, really, to be honest, except for like Prometheus and like the new ones. I haven't watched like one of the originals, but I don't know, like the xenomorph in this show, like I don't know. Again, I might be on my own here saying this, but I don't really like the way the xenomorph moves around. It kind of like it really looks like a guy in a suit to me, like, and he's just kind of wearing prosthetics and he's kind of running and jumping around. Like it really feel like he has like he stands up on 2 legs and like moving around, and he's got like real muscly arms and stuff. And I don't know if these are just like different kind of xenomorphs that what we've seen before, but I don't know. I kind of prefer the ones in the movies because they sneak around and they're like, and then to be fair, there's the xenomorphs in this, they do like kind of come down from the ceilings and stuff like that, and they're sneaking around in the vents and all. But like they seem to like look a little more human or something. I don't know. I might be on my own with that, but it's good. The
Maybe
show's
it's
great. The show's great.
maybe it's
In my,
promising.
yeah. Well, yeah, maybe they're like looking to do it practically rather than CG, and they actually have a guy running around in a suit. That's fair enough.
Mhm.
And I find stuff like that usually ages better. Like going back and rewatching something like the original Lord of the Rings trilogy, like came out in like 2000, 2001. Even today, like I only recently bought like the steel book, like 4K of those three first movies. And even today, like even watching them on a brand new TV, like they just hold up because it was all practical. There was very little CG in it. So like the CG in these older movies just ages really badly most of the time. Like watch some of like the old like superhero movies and stuff like it's nearly painful to watch on these new TVs and stuff. But then you go and watch something like Lord of the Rings and it really holds up. And props to the likes of George Lucas, like because the prequel trilogy looks great for the most part. Like all the space battles in like Episode 3, they look as good as stuff that comes out today, if not better. And that was like made in 2003, came out in 2005. So that's massive, like 22 years ago or whatever. Like it's insane.
Mhm.
So yeah, like there's a lot to be said for practical like props and stuff like that. Maybe that is what they're doing. I don't know. I do like the show. Again, it's moving a little slowly, but there is a really interesting story developing to where like I'm excited to watch it every week. But I don't know. It's good, but it could give us a little more maybe. But I do highly
Sure.
recommend the show. I do highly recommend it. Yeah, big time. Do you have anything you want to bring up?
Just for those of you who are interested in anime, there's quite a bit of animes that are popping up. I don't recall the exact dates, but we got announcements for One Punch Man season 3 should be coming out, I think, later this year.
There's a One Punch Man collab happening in Fortnite right now. I know you're not a Fortnite player, but um, could be the reason why they're doing this collab now because it's a new season coming out. But basically, in Fortnite, there's like a medallion that you can pick up, like an item in the game, and if you it's one item in the entire game, so one person gets to pick it up, and if you pick it up, you can just literally take out your pickaxe and one tap people and kill them. So it's a bit like memey, like, and just toxic. But like, I think the first few people that were getting hit by it were reporting people for cheating because they thought they were getting hacked or something, which is hilarious. Because literally you just go
Oh,
up and
geez.
swing them once and it's 250 damage. Like, you can't defend it at all. It's one tap and you're dead. But yeah, it's a whole collab with One Punch Man, which is cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah. What else is coming?
Additionally, My Hero Academia, the final season should be coming out, I think, later this month.
Mm-hmm.
Um, or at the start of October. It should be every week, I think on Saturday or Sunday. I can't remember. But it should be the final season.
Yeah.
Finally gets a resolution for those of you who are anime watchers. For those of you who have read the manga, like, it's already over, so you already know what happens at the end.
Gotcha.
But hopefully it's spectacular. They've taken this long. When they were working on the semi-final season, it was kind of a bummer that they decided to take a break on that and start working on the next season and breaking it up, because essentially, like, it's right there at the end. There's not really much else that you can do, but I'm assuming that they're going to stretch it out a bit and maybe give it some more bells and whistles, give it some, like, special effects and whatnot that we should likely see. It'll look really nice. I'm pretty sure it will. Hopefully it lands on its feet well in terms of the anime, and we get a good resolution.
Did you read
Yeah.
the manga?
So,
Do you know how it ends?
oh yeah, I know how it ends.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
it's pretty cool.
has it been very true to the manga this whole time?
Oh, absolutely.
So
Yeah.
like, what's going to happen, basically. Like, they're not
Yeah,
going to
essentially.
deviate now. And
No, there's no reason to deviate.
is it a good end? Like, will people be happy?
Uh, I would say yes. Like, on like a teetering on, like, no, a little bit as well, because
Okay.
I think there's a lot to be desired afterward.
Mhm.
They do kind of give a little bit more to look forward to if they decide to continue on, but it's going to be in a different kind of concept.
Right.
Um, they could use a different storyline afterwards. But things will conclude
Right. Yeah.
for this storyline. Um, so then there's that for My Hero Academia. The next big anime is going to be Jujutsu Kaisen. I believe that's in January, where we're going to be getting the Calling Game arc, which is going to be huge. It's after the events of the Shibuya incident, and I'm really hoping that they do a really good job with this. When I read the manga, it wasn't, like, necessarily popping out as much.
Mhm.
I think that a lot of this could have used, effects and whatnot, in terms of, like, seeing the manga compared to, like, when we see the anime, because, like,
Mhm.
you only get bits and pieces when you see the panels. So,
Yeah.
like, for them to bring it to life, I think it's going to look fantastic. I think it's going to be very goofy at times as well. There's a lot of different characters that have different effects. That, like, they have different curse techniques, which are, like, just outright random. One of them, I think, is based upon, like, luck. So it's kind of like rolling I think, a roulette wheel or some sort of jackpot kind of thing that's going on. I think um they're hitting the slots or something like that. And, like, if they
Right.
get a trips on something, then they get, like, 3.5 minutes or 2.9 minutes of, like, invulnerability for, like, that time being, which is, like, kind of cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um there's a lot of things. There's going to be a huge fight between some of the main characters, like, a lot of fights that have been kind of a long time coming, which I'm really excited to see on the big screen. And I think it's going to go well. I think it's going to go well.
Sick. Um, the Demon Slayer movie, the final arc, is coming out on the big screen. I think it's out on the 12th, if I'm not mistaken, which is next
Ye-
Friday.
yeah, it's going to be the first movie out of 3.
Oh
um
shit. Okay. Yeah.
yeah, so this is going to be the first movie from their introduction to the Infinity Castle. The main fights that we're going to see are between Shinobu and Doma, I think is his name.
Yeah.
And we're also going to see Zenitsu and I can't remember the other disciple's name, but basically, if you've caught up until now, you'll find out that like a lot of shit's happened between Zenitsu, his master, and like the other disciple that they had, and it's a huge bit. Yep, final season of Bleach next year, which I think is kind of funny because like I thought they ended that already.
That's funny.
The 1,000-Year Blood War.
I've been told to watch Bleach. I hear Bleach is great. I haven't watched it.
Bleach is great, but you like, okay, so you tell me, or people tell other people, like, you know, anybody that's a One Piece watcher will know the show's great. It's fantastic. A lot of the times they praise it. There's other people who say that the pacing's horrible.
In Bleach?
In One Piece.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
But I don't hear it in Bleach, but in my opinion, Bleach is worse. Bleach is literally they stand there. It's like Dragon Ball Z style.
Okay.
It was supposed to come out this year. Probably. Gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense because like I could have sworn it was all said and done by now, but I haven't watched the 1,000-Year Blood War yet. I'd like to check it out once all three, like the last bit of it pops up, and you know, I think that's gonna be a great show. I heard that like a lot of the special effects, things that go on, a lot of the characters that didn't originally have transformations now have transformations because they figured out what to do. We're going to see like, you know, extra special transformations from other characters, different viewpoints and personalities from those characters as well, because it's been some time. And I think that's going to be really, really enjoyable. But yeah, like if you watch the original Bleach, you're going to be way more inclined to try to skip things than you would be in One Piece, in my opinion. Because One Piece, yes, they have certain moments where like it takes shots here and there, like, you know, kind of like a walking situation where they're walking from one place to another. It takes them, you know, probably about a minute or two, maybe even 3 to get to the actual destination when they could have like sped them up. But the idea behind those moments is it's the anticipation. All like One Piece is full on anticipation. One Piece is basically designed in the same way that you experience Dragon Ball Z, where it takes episodes to kind of reach the ultimate, you know, end of it, and you get the satisfaction of like seeing that end. One Piece takes it a step further, in my opinion, by giving you more to kind of like take in as well. They kind of remind you over and over like of things that's happened in the past, reasons why these characters hate other characters so much, reasons why they need to liberate certain islands, reasons why they need to push forward and try to persevere as opposed to like running away. And like it really like takes in like that flow. Yeah, exactly. Like you had to be there for it. You really had to like experience that during the time being, because like that's what you had at the moment. And but like even to this point though, like the pacing is like, in my opinion, is perfect. It's very much samurai-esque. It's two characters coming up to each other, standing there for a moment, like staring each other down. It's like a shoot out at a high noon. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Showdown at noon.
Western, like.
Yeah, essentially. And I think that's great because like you get the feeling, and then it's like every time they do a to be continued, it's like it just sends chills down your spine. Every single time they do a to be continued when they're about to actually start a fight, it's like, oh my god, I gotta wait a week. But it's a good feeling because it's like I want to keep watching. I'm not going, God, I can't. Like it's more like,
that type of waiting is fantastic. It's the kind of slow paced kind of, oh, nothing happened this week, that was a waste of a week. Like that's the shit I hate, you know. Whereas like if it's something epic and you're like, oh fuck, I can't wait, cliffhanger, boom, let's go, can't wait for the next week. Hype is just going to build for the next week. You're just going to be thinking about it. You might rewatch it. You might watch it 2 or 3 times and then kick into the next episode, and it's great, you know.
Oh, absolutely. And there are moments where like, you know, and I've explained this before, there are moments in the show where it's the emotional roller coaster. You have to remember, like, everything has to start hot, like it goes high up until the end of the arc, then it hits its low because now everybody's calming down. Then you get on the next ride, which is the next arc. then it starts building up. In some arcs, it builds up extremely quick, like immediately. Like there's an arc where they immediately get another crew member. Technically, there's another arc where like they're explained like 20,000 things because they need to know what's going on this island and what's actually like occurring, all the underlying things that occur as well, and like it's this buildup of like, here's lore. It's a lore dump. But after the lore dump, it's just nothing but gold.
Yeah.
Sometimes we'll go 50 chapters without seeing the main character. Yeah, that can happen. Like, are you talking about like with Bleach? Because I know Bleach had like a ton of different characters spanned out, which all had like kind of their the design of each character in Bleach, in my opinion, is so good that like going through each character is actually a treat. And thinking about it now, actually, yeah, they do the same thing for One Piece, where you'll go through like different characters, like it's coming up to that big moment with Luffy and whichever the big bad is for that arc. You start with like Usopp, then Nami, then Chopper, then Zoro, then Sanji. Like it kind of builds its way up to like, here's the next big fight, here's the next big fight, here's the bigger fight. And like you could see that in Wano essentially, because when you're going through Wano, you'll have the fight between like Chopper and Queen, or Nami and Ulti. You have like Usopp versus, I forgot his name. He's kind of like he ate a dino fruit to be a Triceratops, and there's some cool shit that's going on. But like it's reached a point where even the Straw Hat crew, which are kind of side characters to the main character, they get their main character moment by fighting some of the big bads. Like you see Frankie fucking riding a motorcycle and literally jumping his motorcycle on top of Big Mom's face and just dragging the wheels on her face and rolling off because he doesn't give a shit anymore. He's like, I ain't afraid of you, bitch. Mm-hmm. And she's one of the four emperors. So being like one of the four emperors, and he just told you, fuck you, lady. Our guy's going to be the king. Like it's so good. You got all these moments. You see all the crew members so excited to like express how much they're excited to see Luffy become the king of the pirates, because we're reaching the end of it. Mm-hmm. And I could talk about it all day. I'm going to move off of that. But yes, like with My Hero Academia, like it really does take quite a while for some of the characters to like be fleshed out. And we didn't see Deku for like the longest time until the end of like the most recent anime episode, where he finally caught up. He's now at the point where he's about to fight the big bad.
Yeah.
And so like we're probably going to get like a good string of things that are going on in the background as well. There's still Dobby versus oh my god, I forgot his name. The hot cold guy, I can't remember his name. You've got like Uravity versus the transformation chick. I can't, it's been so long. Like this is why I don't like waiting so long for the next arc to show up.
Yeah.
Because you forget all their names, man.
Yeah. You need a refresher.
Yeah. But
do you know sorry, just to real quick before I forget, but do you know with the Demon Slayer movie, is there a release date for all three of these films, or is it like unknown? Like we're going to watch this movie next week and then you could be waiting another year and a half for the next part?
It's it's probably going to be either 6 months to a year for the next one. Yeah. So I think it's currently in development for the next movie.
Yeah, it's rough. Yep. It's rough. Now when it's cut, like, it's the end and you got to wait so long, like potentially waiting 3 years to see the final piece of it. Like, that's going to be tough. I'm excited though. I saw the last one on the big screen and it was great, even though like I hate going to the theater myself, and I sat there by myself and I still had fun.
Yeah. No,
I'll be going next week again by myself because none of my friends and my missus don't like anime, so I'll be sitting there just like this by myself. Like,
dude, you want to know something funny, dude? I don't know if you knew about this. Did you know that Supernatural has an anime?
I did, yeah. They've just released. I think they've only recently announced that they're doing a comic, which is set just after season 1, between season 1 and 2. They're bringing out a comic run. The show is 100% going to come back as well. Like I'm certain of this. Like they'll probably do like a 10-parter on Amazon or on HBO Max or something like that with Kripke and the whole shebang. The whole gang will be back like 100%, 100%. I think Jensen's just too busy at the moment. They're just waiting for him to finish up with a few bits. So yeah, like
Yeah,
100%
sounds about right.
Yeah, hell yeah. Those fights finished in the last season.
Yeah, I think when I refer to Dobby and like it's hard to remember their names. Basically, Dobby was sort of defeated, and I don't want to give too many spoilers on the matter, but like we haven't seen the last of Dobby.
You should start a One Piece channel.
A One Piece channel.
You should, man. You know enough. Like I think you'd be able to put out videos out straight after every episode or whatever, just little breakdowns and stuff, and just dive into that lore of that 1,000 issues or episodes that came before it. You know.
Yeah, maybe.
I think I would give it a go if I knew as much as you do about One Piece. I would start a One Piece channel. 100%. And like I don't mind talking about it here. I know I'm useless in this conversation, but I enjoy sitting here and listening to you go on about it. Like it's great. But I think a little One Piece channel would be really cool for you, or even just record some stuff and I can put it up on this channel. Like it doesn't make a difference to me. Like but I think a little One Piece channel would be really cool.
Maybe I'll think about it.
Yeah, or anime chats or whatever instead of Marvelous chats, anime chats or something. A little subsection of this. I think it'd be really cool.
Oh, and before we go, like I did happen to have Max Luthor come over on Monday, and
Nice.
we were, because I told him like, hey, let's go bowling. I just picked up bowling. Let's go. Before we went, I actually did. I told him like, hey, do you have time to watch the backstory for Kuma? Because as I told you before too, like you're a father, he's a father. Like this is a story about basically a father and a daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And I told him like you're probably gonna cry from watching this, and he's like, all right. And throughout the entire section of it, the entire series of it, like which I think was like 9 episodes, like 6 to 9 episodes, not crying yet. Get to the last episode and he's like, is this the one where I'm gonna cry? I'm like probably. And so like we get to it, Katie's out there with us, like she didn't want to watch it because she's like, I don't want to cry.
Right.
So we're all sitting out there, we're all watching the last episode of the backstory, and he like Max is sitting there, he's just sitting there, and I noticed like he's not crying yet, he's not crying. By the end of the episode, as soon as he saw happy 10th birthday, he goes, motherfucker, I was fine until that.
Oh, that's funny, dude. That's great. He was probably sitting there like, I'm not gonna cry in front of these people. Yeah.
And it's, dude, even if you're not a parent,
yeah,
it's so heartfelt, man. Just everything that the guy went through. And it was so funny because, Mexico's like, I hated the guy. I hated that character. I didn't want anything to do with that character. He's like, now I love the guy. Yeah. Now I understand why all that shit happened.
Yeah. Oh man, like I like, for me anyway, like I view the world different since becoming a father, like, and even stuff that I used to watch and not even blink an eye at, like you kind of see things in different lights when you become a parent, like, and yeah, just like some things that will just trigger me, like, I'm not like, tears not rolling down my face or anything, but like, some shit hits you in the feels. Like I only went to see Interstellar again last weekend in IMAX, and like the scene when they first come up from Miller's planet, and have you seen Interstellar? Sorry, I don't think you have, haven't you? Not.
I've seen it.
So when they come up from Miller's planet, the water planet where they were close to the black hole, and like each hour on that planet is like 7 years back on Earth. Like they get stuck on the planet for 23.5 years or something like that. And when they come back up onto the ship, and then he's just got to like go through all the messages, and like he finds out obviously the grandfather died, and that his son like met a woman, and he's like, "This is the one, Dad. I'm gonna get married to her. I love her," and all this stuff, and he's just bawling like, and I'm sitting in the chair just like, "Oh God, imagine!" Like, I can't even imagine missing a week of my daughter's life, let alone 23 years of it. Like, it's fucking terrifying concept. And the son's like, "Oh, I had a son today," and here meet him, and then like in the next clip, it's like, "Yeah, he died," and you're like, "Oh fuck's sake!" Like, and it's just, it's terrible, man. Like, it's, and like that, like, I'm sitting in my seat just like, "Oh, please don't start bawling here." Like, I'm sitting beside a random person, like, I'm like, "Please don't start crying right now." But yeah, it's tough. Like, and that scene before, obviously, like, knowing it's a very sad scene, but it just like shakes you to your core when you're a parent. Like, it's different. Yeah, fantastic. Oh, but yeah, there's so many things like that just get to you differently after you have kids. Like, you just look at the whole world different. Like, it's crazy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of the best things about that episode too, or even about the entire backstory for Kuma, is the fact that like it's not even his kid, and yet he raised her as if it was his daughter.
Mm,
It should have been his daughter essentially, but
right.
with what happens in the story, they never get to that point. And it's a lot of it had to do with the fear of the same thing that happened to him when he was a kid, because him and his family were captured and made into slaves because of the blood that they each have in their system. Like,
Okay.
it's an old blood. It's like blood of the giants. Basically, like they're kind of like half human, half giant, and they're called buccaneers.
Okay.
And so, like, by just having that blood, they're deemed to be slaves.
Right.
Um, so he didn't want his love interest to kind of go through that same situation where, like, if they had a kid, if he gets captured, then they get captured. Um, but then it just ends up being that, like, she ends up getting captured anyway and made into a slave, and then she has a daughter out of nowhere, and she manages to come back, but she has a disease, and so she ends up back to the place where they first like started living together and whatnot, and like left the baby, and of course he's gonna raise her because he
Yeah.
because he that was his love interest, and now there's a daughter, and it's like, well, who's gonna raise it? It's, well, obviously him.
Hmm.
He didn't want to
Yeah.
he didn't want to get rid of. It's a part of her that he could still hold on to.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah. That's a horrible concept.
it's really horrible. Like,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
you'll see TikToks all over the place. It's like, man, why is it every time I watch One Piece, there's a backstory that makes me fucking cry?
Yeah. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else to bring up, or are we good to break for the week?
Just that it's unfortunate you're not going to be able to watch the movie before Wednesday. I'm going to actually be watching it on Tuesday.
The the Demon Slayer one.
Yep.
Nice. Yeah. I don't know when I'm gonna get to see it, to be honest. I'm gonna have to. What I did the last time was I went like early on a Sunday. Like, I went on like a Sunday afternoon and just kind of
Hmm.
watched it. And I'll probably have to do something like that again, I'd say. Um, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it for sure. Like, it's not coming out here until the 12th, so I'll probably try and see it in IMAX as well. Why not? Go all
Hmm.
out. Yeah, I think it'll be good. It'll be worth it. Like, 'cause it's the one anime that I really enjoy. And I think we're getting like a dub version of it as well, so I'll get to kind of watch it in the way I like to watch it. I don't really like the subs because I've been watching it dubbed the whole time, so I'm not really even used to the voices and stuff. So when I see clips of it in Japanese, it feels weird to me. It feels like it doesn't feel like the show I've been watching.
Hmm.
It's so different. Like, the dub and the sub are so different. Griff, what's up, dude? How are you? Um, you're popping in at the kind of last couple of minutes of the show, unfortunately. But I appreciate you stopping in, dude. You can rewind back and watch it from the start. um, yeah, I don't really have it much else to bring up myself. I know I think they announced the next Superman movie is going to be Man of Tomorrow. I think it's coming out in 2027.
Hmm.
So that's, again, good to see that DC are proper putting or a plan in place, like a roadmap, should I say? And have any other nerdy news from anything else? Like, I was watching some really cool. I'll send these to you. I'm not going to bring them up on the thing just in case the audio shit like it was last week. But saw some really cool like AI kind of Star Wars generated stuff. That's like fascinating, and I'll send them on to you. But just to see where that technology is now and to think where it's going to be in like 5 or 6 years time is just absolutely terrifying. There's these people that are like bringing some of like the Legends stuff with Luke and just bringing it to life using AI for nothing.
Mhm.
These are just like random fans making stuff that's like better than the shit that Disney's putting out. It's crazy. It's absolutely to think where it's going to be. And like, there's one of these clips that they have Luke where he ends up meeting like Bane, and you're like, oh my god, like it looks like what Mark Hamill would look like if we were watching this in like 1985 if they just continued on the universe. And it's just
Mhm.
terrifying. It's so scary, like how good it is. And in 5 years, they're going to be making CGI stuff and AI stuff better than what Disney are putting out officially. Like, it's bonkers, absolutely bonkers.
That'd be great.
Yeah, yeah. Are you around next week?
Yeah, it should be.
Cool. So next week, I'd say we'll be live next Wednesday on this channel again, same time. We'll have Peacemaker episode 3. We'll have another episode of Alien Earth maybe to talk about as well. And what else do we have? I might maybe do a little like kind of season recap of Dexter, maybe because Dexter will be finished. And what else do we have? I don't know. I think that might be it. But anyway, yeah, there'll be plenty to talk about, I'm sure. And obviously, we got the zombie show coming out on the 24th. I'm really looking forward to watching that. I was looking up while you were talking. There's only going to be 4 episodes of it. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. It's all dropping on the 24th as well. So we're going to have the entire thing on the 24th to kind of binge and watch, which is it's a Wednesday. 24th is a Wednesday. I had a feeling it might be. I don't know if I'm going to have all 4 episodes watched before we go live, and I'm sure that might even be harder for you to do than it will be for me. But I'll do my best to watch as much of it as I can before we go live on the 24th. But yeah, maybe we'll be able to talk about one half of the season, and then maybe the next week we can talk about the finale half or whatever. But we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. But yeah, very excited to watch that. Massive thank you to anybody who was here live, or if you're watching us on or listening to us on a replay, really appreciate it. Shout out to the people over on like Spotify and Apple and stuff. During the week we hit like 1,000 downloads for like listens, which I thought was pretty cool. I haven't been. I think I've only been uploading from say episode 98 or something. So yeah, it's cool. We hit 1,000. We hit 1,000 downloads on the audio side of things. So that's pretty cool. So if anyone's listening to this, thank you for being here. Really appreciate it. I know a few of my IRL friends from around the world like listen rather than watching us live. So shout out to you guys. And yeah, we'll be back next week. So we'll see you then. Have a good one. Bye bye.
Here, everybody.